World War III. Okay, this this has just been breaking over the last couple of days. We're seeing missiles being fired into Tehran that are blowing up buildings, apparently blowing up nuclear research facilities. Does Iran have a weapon of mass destruction? Do they have nuclear bombs? This kind of sounds like George W. Bush in Iraq from 20 years ago. It's like deja vu. Some people saying that they really don't even have nuclear weapons. But here's Israel going all in, going after a country that wants Israel essentially wiped off the map. But Israel ain't no saint. Israel is no angel. They have a lot of problems. They have a lot of immorality in the way they've conducted business in Gaza and in other times throughout history. But here we are, Iran and Israel battling it out. And I keep thinking to myself, Trump has already essentially screwed over Elon Musk. Elon Musk supported him because they were going to cut spending, and then none of that happened. Now Trump's big, beautiful bill is going to raise spending, raise the debt, which Musk was trying to fight against. Musk is out. Then Tulsi Gabbard, the former Democrat who really opposes regime change wars, now hears the rhetoric of Trump saying, well, we know where the Ayatollah is, and he's safe for now. But we'll see what happens in the future. Essentially making threats to assassinate their leader, to get U.S. airplanes and troops potentially coming into this. So I'm sure Tulsi Gabbard is there. She's the Secretary of National Intelligence or Director of National Intelligence. She's probably wondering, well, why in the hell did I believe this guy, Trump? We agreed there. We wouldn't pursue regime change wars, and here we are right on the cusp of about to do that. I now wonder, we've got three wars cooking. We got Russia and Ukraine. We've got Israel and Gaza. And now we have Israel and Iran. And China and Taiwan could happen at any time. But these are all independent. It's not really a World War III. They're kind of separate things. But I keep wondering if some irrational actor is going to do something crazy. Is China going to suddenly jump in, or Russia jump in and defend Iran? Are each of these wars going to combine with like an allies and an axis of evil, that are going to be fighting these things? I mean, really, it wouldn't take much for a couple of stupid things to happen. I mean, that's how World War I happened with, that we had the Archduke Ferdinand that was assassinated. It could be, some maybe smaller player, smaller actor on the world stage could do something dumb and really ignite a World War III. And I think that's very possible. But in my opinion, right now, and this applies to all three of the wars, Iran, Israel, Gaza, and Russia, Ukraine. American troops should not go in. American airplanes should not be bombing these. These are not our wars. However, we, as the so-called leader of the free world, we should be using the bully pulpit, and our president especially should be the one articulating the values of America, articulating our inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And essentially a separation of church and state, talking about the values that make America great, and then applying those standards to these other countries around the world that are fighting. Because we know that the Israel-Gaza fight is ultimately religion. We know the Israel-Iran fight is ultimately religion. The Russia-Ukraine fight is ethnicity, it's religion, it's settling old scores. It's a lot of things, but religion is part of it. We should be articulating it from a position of strength, of power, and of individual rights, and urging these other nations to move in that direction. Unless American interests are directly a threat, which I don't see that in any of these wars, maybe with the exception of the China-Taiwan potential war, I don't see a role for America to be involved in this. But it's interesting that I think we have the wrong guy in the White House, because Trump is the kind of guy that's always trying to prove to people that he's better and smarter than the next guy, that he can work the art of the deal, that he has superpowers to, solve problems. I alone can fix it. And that's dangerous when we have these very complex, very long historical battles that are really flaring up right now. It's the wrong guy to have there. And all this bravado about threatening to, assassinate the Ayatollah in Iran. I mean, not doing any favors there. So now Trump's demanding unconditional surrender of Iran, not just a ceasefire, but he wants Iran to bend the knee. This kind of language is what can only inflame the war rather than pacifying it. And that's Trump's MO. That's what he does. He's throwing gas on the fire, and he does it in almost every conflict. He did it with the LA ICE protests. He's doing it with all kinds of, he did it with the assassination attempt of the Minnesota politicians. So there are so many missed opportunities here where our executive, our chief executive is acting like a child on the world stage, trying to manipulate and play this game using a lot of lies and alternative facts, and really not standing up for good versus evil. It's very frustrating.